Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of The Blacklist. A lot of interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. Well, first and foremost, we have a very interesting blacklister in this episode where you have this woman named Hannah Haynes. She's connected to these people being kidnapped, and I like how they unfolded the story the way they did, letting you know certain things when you need to know them, and it kind of ends up in turning into this interesting web of situations. First, it starts with this governor. He was kidnapped, but then he's supposed to be taking his medication, but this governor won't tell anyone what happened. Even his attorney or whatever is there and being like, you want to keep this hush, you want to keep your reputation intact. It's like, what went down? And then later on, there's his stomach looked tan, he looked tan up, and then his belly was white at the bottom. Later on, when we saw his body, I was like, Did they? I was thinking something twisted. I was like, did they give you a different person's bottom half of that? Are we going some Frankenstein level stuff here? And I guess to a certain extent, you can almost go down that lane of thought. But then it's what the episode ends up being, because it's it turns out Park and Aram end up finding these estrogen pills, and it's okay, so what is it that's so in this that that the governor would lie about it while he's keeping secret, pretending he doesn't remember anything. You were kidnapped, you were held for 3 months. Because at first he's trying to make it seem like some crime syndicate has something to do with it, which Reddington was if they wanted a governor, they wouldn't kidnap him to do this. They want a governor in their pocket, they'll literally pay him off. So this isn't some mob families thing. It's meant to look like that. But even hearing him suggest that it was that kind of made Liz kind of looked down, because she was yeah, so you're going with the story, which Reddington literally said it wasn't, so that's the interesting situation of the episode. But then we get it unveiled, because it finds out there's another dude that just got kidnapped, and we find out there's another person that fit this pattern. He's a pastor, and it turns out, he had a baby, and it turns out, the person who gave birth to it, there is no mother. I'm the baby. And it's whoa. So that's what this is all about. They're impregnating men, in particular certain men, conservative men, where it's kind of it's the whole laws about abortion and non-abortion, because I get, because abortion can be considered criminal. It can be considered a crime because you're murdering. The moment a heartbeat is registered, you can no longer do an abortion because it means that person's living. So it's that whole situation. And it's actually kind of because I was wondering what her motivation was behind all this, but we find out later on she was raped. And because the laws wouldn't allow her to get an abortion, because for her, she went after groups of people who were basically making rules over a woman's body. Obviously real world, obviously not these exact circumstances, but the whole, someone being raped and wanting to get an abortion, and just the whole complicated thing of certain laws, places it's not okay to have an abortion, other places it is. So it's a whole complicated thing in that, it's the whole thing of a woman should have the right to choose to do what she wants with her body. But there's the complicated thing of it's men who are, not always, but a lot of times it's men who are making this decision. If it was, I think, another woman making this decision, things would, I don't know if there would still be the same, because I think a woman would have a different perspective than a man, because it is that complicated thing of because at the end of the day, it's not your opinion that matters, it's the woman's body. She should be able to dictate what happens to her body. And that's what Hannah's whole thing was. It's she didn't have a choice in getting pregnant and wanting to get rid of the baby because she was violated, and it would have been a reminder. And that's also, I can't even imagine that, having, even if something good came out of it, in this case, her daughter, she can't help look at her daughter and not think about the man who assaulted her. The fact of the matter is he got out of, he got on parole. So the fact is he's out of prison earlier than he should be. So it's that was just a more slap in the face. And now we find out that's who the guy is in the basement. In fact, it's actually his sperm that was used to inseminate all these men. I didn't talk about it, but it's they literally, she cut them open to put a womb inside of them. So I thought that was kind of, fascinating. So maybe the reason why that governor is kind of what, maybe that's just the actor himself, or maybe it's just because it's supposed to represent maybe because he wasn't exposed to sunlight, whatever the case may be. It's probably not that important, but hence what I was talking about is some very Frankenstein level, science like that and everything. But I find it quite fascinating, that this whole circumstance is fascinating in a sad sense, that, what kind of pushed her to do this. Like, she goes after people who kind of helped make the decision that led to, like, you know, hey, like, control over my body. Even though it's my body, I don't have control over it. So she wanted to kind of show them, you know, basically it's something she gets at the end of the episode, because it's like, how can I face my daughter if I'm not willing to kind of face the, you know, let her show her that it's okay to stand up for yourself, you know, when other people basically try to keep you down in that regard. So for her, it was punishing all these people because basically their way of viewing things, that governor, for making a law like that, made her kind of have it put her in this position of he put her in this position. So it's like, actions have consequences, and their actions of, you know, believing what they believe and being, because even the pastor was like, it doesn't matter, I'm steadfast in my belief, because he was like, she tried to break me by forcing me to be like, oh, well, I get an abortion. She's like, I will not. It's like, but it doesn't matter if you didn't crack in your beliefs or whatever. She still kind of won in a sense, because it's like, she puts you in this uncomfortable situation, and, you know, but which is complicated because you see two different sides of it. You see the pastor at the end being like, yeah, I kept the baby, I raised it, this is my son. Whereas the governor is like, he went to a different state. It's like, I'm gonna get an abortion. It's like, you do know that if where you are, like, the governor in that area could still, you know, the attorney general could still bring you up on charges. And he's like, I don't care, which is like, I was raped. And so you see like everything kind of coming full circle in that regard, you know, of like, this is a position you put not just Hannah, but potentially every woman in his state under that regard, because he passed such a law. So, like, at the end of the day, there is no winners in this situation. It's just, like I said, it's just a tragic, sad circumstances of situations, you know? So, because for Hannah, it's like, even if she has to go to jail, it's like, the fact that, because what pissed her off even more, what probably set this all off, is that bastard, like, her rapist wants to get custody of her daughter. And it's like, wait, what? Showed you how fucked up the system can be, that he's even in a position to do that. You know, it's kind of, you know, because in a sad twist away, he still has parental rights, because that is still his child, but still. It's fuck, like I said, actually really, sitting here thinking about it more and more, it's like, man, this episode's super, like, sad, depressing, and fucked up in that regard, you know? So, like I said, there's no winners in this situation, because even Hannah's like, at the very least, my daughter, she'll grow up with my parents there. They'll help raise her into a good person. So it doesn't matter what my circumstances are, even if I'm rotting in jail for all the stuff I've done, she'll be okay. You know, she'll be looked after, she'll be taken care of. So she won't have to suffer from my consequences, which that's something I'm sure her daughter's gonna have to grow up and deal with later on in life. But I mean, who knows what that really means going forward, you know? What that means in the grand scheme of things, because hey, you never know, she might pick up her mom's mantle. Because there was the other lady from, that wasn't this season, that was like last season, the lady whose mom was basically taking all that money and getting, you know, doing all that stuff. Her daughter basically picks up her mantle at the end of that whole thing. Like, it might be a similar thing years down the road. You never know. Maybe not. You know, turns into a whole nature versus nurture thing. I mean, to be fair, Hannah's whole situation isn't a nature thing. It was it wasn't a nature or nurture thing. It was a fucked up circumstance, you know? So, a fucked up situation, I should rather say, you know? So, there's that side of the episode, kind of dark and depressing. We did learn some interesting things about Agent Park. For one, she's not too keen on Agent Keene because she found out, like, you should have told me that you're Reddington's daughter. I would have never told you what I told you, because Liz is the only one that knows her deep, dark secret, which we've yet to actually find out what that is. So I thought that was interesting. And even Wrestler trying to make her feel better. Because like Liz is like, well, you hated me. He's like, I didn't hate you. I didn't like you, but I didn't hate you. The fact of the matter is, it's going to take her a while to come to realize, like, you know, Reddington's obsessions, what they mean, what they say about you. And at the end of the day, he's like, it says nothing about you. Because he's come to know Liz for who she is. And it's like, even, you know, despite everything with Reddington, you know, because in her mind, it was like, for a long time, she thought Reddington was her dad. But it's like, no, I've come to realize you are your own person, and Reddington's his own person as well. So who he is doesn't reflect on you. It's like, she's like, give Agent Park, you know, a year, or like, what was it, like 6 or 7? And I'm like, I like that. Because it is interesting, because when you actually think of it, it's like, right, Wrestler, because Wrestler was more so bothered by the fact is you had a connection to Reddington, this person he's been tracking down for years, and he'll only answer and talk to you. But, which has led to a very complicated relationship that Wrestler and Reddington now have. That's the whole thing, so... But, we also found out a little bit that Agent Park is religious, because she was forced to go to, like, a camp, like, 8 weeks or whatever, like a Christian boot camp or something like that. And for her, it's like, well, she kind of likes it because it allowed her to learn morals, something she couldn't learn from her own father or something like that, which I'm like, well, that's a story on its own. Maybe we'll kind of get to that eventually. But I also love that Aram is, like, praising her, like, oh, she's a true genius. I mean, I thought I was smart, but, man, Agent Park is on a whole other level. So I thought that budding friendship is kind of starting there. So I think that's kind of interesting. Now, on the other side of the episode, I love this little, and it's those little moments between Liz and Reddington I love, where he's telling the story of like how he ended up getting a little camper is because like he ended up losing, like some dude lost shipment of baby formula for him. He felt so bad. It's like, yeah, this is my little home away from home, but you can have it as kind of a little payback for the fact that I lost your shipment. And then I love Liz laughing. It's like, your life is so weird. It's just like little moments like that. It's almost like pseudo dad and daughter moments like that. It's super sweet. But then on the other side of things, kind of tying this all together, there's Katerina, who's getting information about like Kozlov's address and everything. I'm like, wait, what? But Reddington goes, wait. I was like, wait, is he not? Or is this some like inadvertent way to find out his real address? But like Reddington wouldn't be under that I was like, what? I was so confused. But then it started complaining. Wait, so he's not Kozlov? So who the fuck is Reddington? We'll get to that soon enough. But it also is this morbid thing of like she's setting up this little meetup, and lo and behold, she brings Agnes with her. She ends up snapping a dude's neck in the bathroom. Agnes walks in and is like, oh, what happened to that man? Oh, don't worry about him, honey. He's sleeping. I was like, oh, you killed someone in front of your granddaughter. I mean, granted, not in front of your granddaughter, but still, she witnessed a dead body and she didn't realize it. Obviously, you did a very good job of covering that up, but still, it's kind of like, oh, you ain't winning no Grandmother of the Year awards there. So I was like, ugh, that's pretty interesting. But, the dude Sutherland getting the information for her gets kidnapped by the dudes that were working for Reddington. And then later on when Reddington, like when they were having that conversation and she dropped that information about like, oh, you got the address. And he's like, I don't care about no address. And I'm like, that dude was acting on his own, wasn't he? So we'll get to that soon enough. But I love that we end up finding out this Patrick dude. Like we find out why he's so important to Katerina. Basically, some guy had a gun on her and his parents, Patrick's parents, were in the hallway trying to stop it, and they ended up getting killed because of it. She was able to get away, and so she's been looking after him ever since then. And as Reddington refers to as kind of being a fairy godmother. But then Reddington points out the fact is you're still running the business you're running, right? You're doing all this thieving stuff. You're basically running a criminal business. It's like, so she's not taking care of you that much. So the question then becomes, how much does she actually care about you? Because it seems like she does, but we're going to test this out. And she's like, the fact is Reddington, like, Patrick has nothing to do with this. There are lines we don't cross, which he was like, you crossed those lines the moment you shot Dom, who had nothing to do with this. So yeah, Patrick's fair game. What she's saying, like, this was all his game, so this has nothing, but for Reddington, it was like, despite you saying that it was Dom's game, he's been retired for a while. He had no part to play in this anymore, but because it's like, you're so trapped in the past, you're willing to, get revenge now, even though he's outside of whatever our situation really is, because I think we're going to be diving into that soon. But for her, it's like, I'm tired of men dictating so much about my own life, because I think a combination of whoever this Reddington is, whether it be Kozlov, whether it be her own father, or like, it's just so many men dictating so much about her life, and she's done with it. So, and it actually came down because Reddington was like, she's got to be punished. The punishment's the only way people are going to learn. So he was about to kill Patrick, but then they stopped him. And, Reddington's like, well, you got another fairy godmother. So that was interesting. And so lo and behold, like I said, she slipped up and gave him some information he didn't necessarily know. So he visits the dude, and it's like, oh. It's like, I did what you do. I shoot first, ask questions later to find out which one you're going to be. And he shoots the other guy. It's like, oh, looks like you're third. So it's a situation of like that guy was going to be up to his old tricks of like you're kind of an antiquated like break kneecaps type of dude, and the fact of the matter is you were planning on taking the information you were going to plan on selling, any you're trying to get to Katarina so you can capture her and sell her to the highest bidder, even though I told you when you tracked her down, leave it to me. And now because Katarina is a very smart and capable woman, and because you fucked up severely, she's on guard and she sees me coming. It's what this came down to. So I was supposed to have the advantage, but you screwed that up for me. But it's like, oh, here's Sutherland. But the fact of the matter is Reddington shoots home, dude, because it's like, yeah, you pissed me off. Plus, the fact of the matter is you're super unreliable. If I gave you another chance, you screwed that pooch. I'm not giving you another. Once again, Reddington's not the forgiving type, as we know. But it's like, no, Sutherland, the fact is you have backbone. It's like the fact of the matter is I'll give you, medical care that you need. Just, tell me what you know. And it's like, okay, I gave her Kozlov's address. And I was like, is it going to be what I think it is? And it turns out, lo and behold, your boy Frank. Because I thought something was awkward because like Frank was there, and when Liz showed up, he was smiling and everything. But then like he's like, "Excuse me," and it's like it's almost like he couldn't, like he had to get away from Liz really quickly. So it's like, okay. So many questions when she pulls a gun on him. It's like, so nice to see you, Kozlov. So it's like, okay, so because everything last season made it seem like he got surgery to look like Reddington. So maybe at one point in time he did take over being Reddington, but then eventually he got more surgery to look the way he does now. Maybe? So if that is the case, who the hell is it? They keep upping it. It's like just when you think you got everything figured out. But once again, what did Reddington say to Dom? You gave Liz this fairy tale notion, especially as the moment where it's like, Keen is like, Liz is like, all right, I'm going to tell you the truth. The fact is, yeah, Reddington is my father, but he died years ago. So it's like, wait, if that's not Raymond Reddington, then who is that? And it's like, oh, it's Kozlov, but it's like, apparently it's not. So basic question, is he actually the real Raymond Reddington that's been alive this entire time? Has he been lying? Has he been double bluff lying? Or the fact of the matter is he is someone else? What the fuck? Once again, Dom told a very fantastical story of this is how everything went down, but Reddington was like, you didn't tell her the truth, and now she's got this fantasized notion about what went down. I wanted her to know nothing. So like I said, the whole point is finding out what in Dom's story was true, what was fabricated, what was twisted truth, and what was completely lies, so I am so excited to see where the next episode takes us. Like I said, one step forward, two steps back. So this is definitely going to be interesting, because obviously she's still being hunted and everything, and I guess that's why she wants Frank. And that's why he feels so guilty about this whole situation, because Katarina was his childhood friend. So her doing all this to Reddington, for him, it's I guess if she can trade Kozlov in a former KGB agent, it'll be enough to clear her debt. People stop looking for her. It's oh, look how valuable he is, or at the very least, he can be a means of, I can sell him for money or information to kind of get whoever it is that's coming after me off my back, or find out who they are so I can kill them, so I can finally be like, hey, Liz, it's me, your mom. I'm going to be here for you and Agnes. So it's definitely going to be interesting to ultimately see where all this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.